Hello, friends, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan Abear, and this is where I share my insights. And today, I'm talking about the secret victory of life. What does it mean not to lose? It takes some understanding, but you can live a life where you never lose. Only if you understand the hidden objective of ultimate freedom. Stick around and I'll explain. The other evening I was working with a group of people in a musical situation, and I lost my shit. Several of them were chit-chatting when I was trying to talk to the group, and something came over me and I just lashed out. I lost it. I lost my patience. I lost my composure. I lost my ability to communicate. And this is what true loss is. And I'm not afraid to say it's just losing your shit. Even if I say the word shit, you might lose it. It's a naughty word. But I have come to understand that this is the victory of life, not losing it. Over what seems to be provoking you. Because it feels like a battle. It feels like these things are coming against you. But what they are is you being introduced to all these versions of yourself, which at first you fight. Every new encounter seems like something different. But every new encounter is a different angle to an infinite introduction to who you are. And so to be a victorious person means to step off of the karma wheel, which is to stop stop being bitten by your own tail. It's like a cat who sees their tail for the first time and jumps high in the air. They lose their shit. That's you. And you are learning to be victorious in that area. See, we think loss is when you lose your spouse, when you lose your hair, when you lose your youth, when you lose money, when you lose a bet, when you lose a job. No, that's not loss. Losing your shit is loss. Unable to maintain a connection to your highest intelligence. See, this is what the world is going to need. As more and more people are carried away in the over-dramification of life, we're going to need people that know how to keep their composure. When you don't keep your composure, you are seemingly disconnected from your highest source of intelligence. That part of you that can solve problems, that can communicate, that can keep things from getting out of hand. That's victory. Not losing your sanity. So you're not competing against the world. You're not competing against other people. You are up against yourself. You are up against fear, not jumping 10 feet in the air when you see the cucumber, if you know what I mean. You know those cat videos where you put a cucumber behind them and they see that and they freak out? This is the way that it works. It's like the universe sneaks up on itself and says, boo! And you don't lose your shit. Because you're not suspicious anymore. You drop your suspicion of it all. That's real victory. The loss of fear. Which is paranoia. If you want to feel like a loser, lose your temper. If you want to feel like shit, lose your shit. After I lost my shit in front of those people, I felt like shit. That's where I felt where I had let myself down. So I have made priority to be, you see, the universe seems to prioritize kindness, patience. See, those are virtues. Kindness, patience, suppleness, love. Those are virtues which are related to the word victory. And losing your patience, losing your wits, losing your composure, losing your equanimity. You never really can, but you do. You seem to. Seems to cut you off from your highest brain. The one where people can make rational decisions. A person in an irrational state cannot make good decisions. No ideas come to the person who's in an irrational state. When you're in hysterics, very little can be done. But if you're one that's able to create that spaciousness around you and to recognize when this lashing out, this aggression wants to burst out of you. And it's not about suppressing it or gritting your teeth or having willpower against it. It seems to be there is a preference in the universe for suppleness and softness. That doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. You have to know the difference between real power and victimization. And so where do you recognize this in yourself? You recognize this in yourself when you see a picture of your ex-spouse being happy with another person. And you don't lose your shit over it. You don't call your friend and say, "Can you believe it?" Going in all that. When you can lose your job with dignity, being appreciative that it's over, being okay with packing up your stuff. Nothing I can do. You can try. You can go to the HR and say, "Well, is there anything that can be done here?" And no, there's nothing that can be done. I had that experience just yesterday. My healthcare insurance is changing, so this medication I need was no longer being covered. And so I tried to make a few phone calls, and the lady said, "There's nothing we can do." I said, "Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day." It's about not pushing. It's about not forcing. It's about working with your condition loosely. Okay? And it's not losing your shit when you lose everything. When the stock market crashes, are you going to lose your shit? When your spouse dies, are you going to lose your shit? When you get a terminal diagnosis, are you going to lose your shit? That's loss. And everybody's playing that objective right now. Learning the ways of the universe, which are patient, kind, loving. The thing that has an expiration date on it is fear. That's what withers. Paranoia, ignorance, separation. If anything's going to decay, it's that. And what's left is the gist of it. If you go back in your life and look at all these specific things where you lost your shit, once all of that overreaction dissipates, You have what's left, called the gist. I get the gist of it. Specificity dies away. And what's left is an admonishment, a lesson. Oh, there seems to be a preference for kindness, a preference for patience. And it feels like those things are being tested. It's kind of not, it's really not that way. It's not that you're being tested, per se. It's that is the backdrop upon which growth occurs. It is the seeming opposition which allows you to grow. And you realize that victory is wisdom. Victory is understanding. Victory is, aha, I get it. This is where I'm going. I'm going to be a nice person. I'm going to be a kind person. I'm going to be one of those people that can be put in a very contentious situation and be able to think. Also create a little humor, a little bit of lightness, a little bit of spaciousness over this over-dominating, I'm going to dominate and win it. It's not that. Victory is not reacting, not getting caught up in the dramatic overlay and understanding the gist, what's left. Oh, I see. Softness, suppleness, love, correction, teaching. See, the word gist, like I get the gist of it. The gist is an Anglo-French word which means these actions lie. So the overreactive state is lying. Oh, this is the reason, this is why you lost your shit. No, you lost your shit because you lost it. And you need to know the difference between a real loss and one that doesn't have any bearing over you. So when your money goes down, is that a loss? No. When your spouse dies, is that a loss? No. Losing it is losing your sanity, losing your equanimity, losing the connection to Source, which you never really can. And that's victory. That's the hidden victory of winning. You can't win the universe when you are the universe. So you got people that think they can get on top of it and hump it. Show the universe who's boss. So I'm going to get on top of it and be real male and oh yeah. And then you got people at the bottom who are just like, oh, I'm just a victim. Just everything is taken away from me. And both of those are overreactive states. But the male and the female image come together. And there's no space. It might appear that there's space. I'm doing a little illustration here between male and female, but there is not. You can't get on top of the universe and show it who's boss. Nor can you get to the very bottom of the universe and be a victim of it. Somehow, you're in this intermediate middle part, which you virtually disappear into. And so your circumstances, which seem to be all around you, are no longer affecting your equanimity. That's victory. Put a gun to my head and let me see if I'll lose my shit. If I'm truly not afraid to die, that should be just fine. That's not to say that if you put a gun to my head, my heart wouldn't start beating. And my pulse would race, and my mind would be okay. I would most likely get very alert. And that increases your attentiveness. And as your attentiveness increases, as you access your highest levels of intelligence, that's the best you can do. You relax in the face of fear. You're being introduced to yourself in a variety of ways. And if you're going to jump every time you see a cucumber, you haven't overcome paranoia yet. This is victory. This overcoming paranoia. You live in a paradox, so things seem different. But in spiritual teaching, we realize the paradox is the tool of seeing singularity. And you're going to be introduced over and over again to something that seems like not me. A threat. And victory is relaxing in the face of what seems opposing. Because at some level, it is all together. And that's how you keep it together, is to remain an island in a sea of trouble. Those are labels. But the island in the sea of trouble together, it's all together. The universe can't budge. The universe can't move. The universe can't be dominated. And the universe has no bottom. You can't be moved. That's victory. And the preference is for stillness, relaxation, fearlessness. That's your escape. That's your connection to your highest intelligence, which will not be severed by what happens out there or in here or anything. My access to my highest intelligence will always be in alertness, composure, and not losing my shit. That's the secret victory. And that's my objective. That's my new game. Yeah, okay, I lost my shit the other day. Get to try again. And the more you remain in that center of equanimity, the more bliss and peace you receive. That seems to be victorious. It has nothing to do with what happens to me. Because I can maintain my autonomy, my island of peace. And the moat grows and grows and grows. That's the space for me that's my reaction time. That grows to the point where I've got so much space, I'm not carried away. My name is Ryan Hebert. I hope you enjoyed these insights on how to live a victorious life. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please check out my blog. It's my favorite thing to do in the world is write on that blog, and I hope that you'll read it sometime. MyMorningMotivator.com. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you guys next time.